Hey, how's it going? Brock here from Rock Hill Farms. Today we're going to talk about third function hydraulics in relation to the 2038R. I'm hoping this video will be really helpful for people who are considering purchasing this tractor or who already have the tractor and are comparing different ways to get that third function. So we'll talk about pros and cons of the different methods. We'll talk about the price. I'm going to show you exactly how it's set up on my tractor. And then we're going to pick some stuff up with the Grapple and have a little fun. So we release a video every other day, and these videos are about the work we do with the tractor, how we maintain our property, and the businesses that we run. We've got a lot of cool content coming up, including doubling the size of this pond with this tractor. And so if you're interested in that sort of thing, then please subscribe to the channel and stick around. So to begin with, it's unfortunate that John Deere does not make a factory third function setup for this tractor that's just integrated and fits. We may see that third function option in the future from John Deere because they recently released it for the 1025R and the 2025R. I've already made a video where I talked about my experience with going to the dealership to buy this tractor and telling them that I wanted third function. And they weren't really able to give me a good option. And the salesman thought he was giving me a good option, but that's not what I got. So what my dealership, and I actually went to a couple dealerships and talked to them about this, and what they had to offer for me was dual rear remotes, which is awesome. With those two rear remotes, you have options to power whatever you want off the back of the tractor. I paid about $1,000 for the rear remotes and for them to be installed. And what I thought was included in that cost was running those hydraulics up to the front so I could plug the hydraulics for my Grapple in. So what the dealership gave me was the two rear remotes and two 14-foot hoses that I actually had to buy separately. And then they told me just run them up to the front. Well, that doesn't sound that difficult, but I could not find a good way that the hoses were secure, they weren't in my way when I was doing anything else, and they gave me a full range of motion so that I could lift the loader all the way up and then curl the Grapple. The first time I thought I had those hoses set up pretty well, I was picking up some boards out of a raised garden bed, and I lifted them all the way up, and then when I went to dump them, it popped the zip tie, the fittings fell in between the loader frame and the Grapple. Then when I came back down, the Grapple smashed the fittings and I was spraying hydraulic fluid everywhere. So I went back to the dealership and said, you know, there's got to be something better you can do here. I just got the tractor back today and they did complete that setup. They've run hard lines on the loader and they've got it set up where I'm happy with it. My total cost for the setup I'm about to show you was $1,500. Now, as a comparison, you can get the WR Long Company third function kit for about $800. So you're saving $700 compared to what I spent. Now, for that, there's pros and cons. On the negative, with that kit, you have to install it yourself. And, you know, some people, maybe you just love working on it. And for other people, maybe your time's valuable and you don't want to do that. So that's, you know, personal preference. Another factor is that if you get that third function kit, you still don't have the option to run different hydraulics on the back with it. And so I've got flexibility that one set of my rear remotes I'm going to be ordering a top link for, and I can run that hydraulic top link and anything else I choose on the back, and then still have these option to run these hydraulics on the front just by a quick connect. There is an advantage to that WR Long kit, and that is that your third function hydraulic joystick. Now with the setup I have, I'm operating the loader here, and then when I want to close the grapple, I've got to move my hand over to a lever here and then come back. So if you just use a grapple every once in a while, that's not a big deal. But if you're running this grapple all the time, then it might be a big deal to you to have that other function up on the joystick. So let's take a look at the setup I got from Heritage Tractor. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close my grapple to get a better look. You close the grapple with this lever here. Okay, so here are the hydraulic lines coming off my grapple. They run down right over here, and then they have quick connects to hard-lined hydraulic lines. So I can disconnect right there if I'm just removing the grapple. Then those hard lines run up here on the loader and switch into soft lines. Then those lines run down the loader, and then right here is our couplers. So if we want to disconnect the entire loader, we've got that disconnect right there. Here you can see the rear remotes. Right now I have it set on the top set of remotes. I'm thinking I may switch it to this lower set. The top set runs off of this taller lever right here, and this lever has a detent at the front, which seems to be kind of a float function, because I actually thought there was a problem with my grapple or with the hydraulic lines, because when I pushed this lever all the way forward, I didn't have much grip power and the log would slip out. And then I realized if I stopped right here, it was working perfectly fine. Now this lever doesn't have a detent function. So for a grapple, it may be more convenient to use this lever so that you're not accidentally going into that float function. Right here you can see the distance between your loader joystick and your third function controls. I've got another video coming that is completely about clearing down trees and dead wood out of our 20 acres, but we'll do a little bit of that today, just for fun. Okay, so to summarize what I said earlier about the pros and cons, the WR long kit may be the best option for you if you don't mind working on the tractor yourself, if you aren't concerned with having extra hydraulics on the back, if you want the cheapest option, and if you want the button to be on the joystick. In terms of reasons to have the dealership set up the hydraulics the way I had mine done is, number one, if you already have rear remotes, then it's going to be cheaper to have those run to the front and have the hard lines put on the loader than it is to get the WR long kit. Number two, if you are starting from scratch, adding the rear remotes gives you the option to have hydraulics at the back and the front. Also, when you factor in everything I had done to this tractor and all the attachments that came with it, you're looking at about $50,000. I've got the insurance, the service plan, and the warranty all through the dealership. And so I kind of like the idea of all major modifications that are done to the tractor being done by that dealership. So it's all still covered by them and they know how it's set up. So whichever way you go about it, I think it's definitely worth it to get the third function put on, because the Grapple is a very useful tool. We make new tractor videos every second day, and if you're interested in this kind of content, then like the video and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.